Good evening, CMO 102 land, and welcome to the pre-season preview chat rather than stream of the All-Star Atlantic League, the latest in what is a long line of saves and competitive CMO 102. Delighted to say that. Joining me tonight is my co-chair and fellow streaming manager, Kitchen Dan. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, really good. Evening, mate. Yeah, hope you're well.
Yeah, excited by the dawn of a new age in CMO 102?
Yeah, really excited. Yeah, should be good. Some very good sides in there. I think cutting it down to 12's given like quality to everybody. So yeah, should be good.
Yeah, good stuff. And a man who is building a reputation as the kind of godfather of just about every competitive database build there is, along with Horse, obviously. Dimble, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Nice to be in a room with you and Dan again.
Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. And let's just jump straight into it then. So, the All-Star Atlantic League is a bit of a kind of an attempt to offer something a little bit different. Obviously, shout out massively goes to predecessors and current competitive builds, namely the Super League, the kind of the grandfather of it all, the one that's kind of stood the test of time, and very much a format that is, if it isn't broke, don't need to fix it. Shout out as well to the likes of Small Horse and the likes of Swemp that have also kind of got their own flags in the ground in the CMO 102 world and keeps us all sane with a massive distraction in life, really. But this is kind of our offer, and this is something very, very different, I think. Whether or not people think that it's kind of up there, it'll kind of wait to be seen. But essentially, this All-Star Atlantic League is based in the MLS, using the MLS kind of format. And there's three conferences. So there's the Eastern, Central, and Western Conference. 4 teams in each conference, as we'll see in just a moment. And essentially, there's a 32 league game season, slightly longer than Super League, and definitely longer than Swemp and Small Horse. And automatically, the winners of each conference will qualify for the playoffs after a round of kind of playing 4 times against their own conference teams, and then 20 at random from the rest of the league. And then ultimately, it'll be the next best 8. So essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, that'll be... Will that be how many teams will miss out, Dimble?
It's 8 qualifying.
Yeah.
So 4 will miss out, 8 will make the playoffs. So it's the 3 winners are guaranteed.
Yeah.
But then it's like the next best 5. So there's 8.
Right.
It's basically the top 8 teams. I don't think anyone's going to finish top of the conference, but
yeah,
outside of the 8, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
it's basically the best 8 teams go into the playoffs, which is a new format as well, which is a best of 3 games. With extra time in there as well in the mix. I'm not even sure if there's penalties in the playoffs as well. So it's definitely like a new format, a fresh format. And it's a bit tricky to kind of edit and all that stuff. And it has been a little bit tricky changing names and the teams and stuff like that. So this is probably why no one's done it before, to be honest. It's been a challenging build, but it's been great.
Yeah, and it's definitely done a kind of a like it or loathe it, that very much Marmite, that idea of having conference teams that you play 4 times and then 20 teams at random, and then the best of 3 playoffs in a head-to-head. And then when we add in that kind of, in terms of in-game, there's going to be a golden goal after 90 minutes. Very much Marmite this, Dan, do you reckon?
Yeah, something completely different, isn't it? Which is always good to see. Yeah, definitely. I think the conference thing's going to work quite well because it's going to give you like rivalries in your own conference and then also across them as well. So yeah, it should be good.
And I suppose what we should say at this point is there has been kind of quite complex challenges in the pre-build in terms of having to get certain bits of software to be able to edit team names and divisions and all that sort of stuff. And we don't know at this stage, Dimple, if any of that is really going to bite us in the arse longer term. We don't know if this is going to blow up midway through. We don't know if it's going to kind of crash at the back end of the season, but who gives a fuck, and we'll give it a try anyway, mate.
We've got no idea, like you say, but fuck it, we'll just give it a go anyway. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be entertaining. We've tested it as much as we can, so we'll see how it goes. And all the managers are buzzing to be part of it and something a bit fresh, as we said.
Yeah, and so we'll come over to kind of the in-game rules. So the save's going to be totally open, shared, and available after each game week, and there'll be two kind of primary managing chairs, myself and Dan. But what we kind of hope is that maybe some of the managers will pick up a stream every now and again. You know, we've got Tato, we've got Rox, Scotty, Dimble, in amongst it, Horses in there as well. All people who've kind of dabbled in streaming, so there's no reason why bonus shows can't be chucked in by other managers. Not really asked who kind of streams, just working on the kind of total notion of everybody being in it for the same reasons and absolute transparency. And Mega Horse is going to kind of be there, the great FBI agent who, of course, rumbled the great conspiracy in Super League. He'll kind of be in the background, just checking that there's no dodginess going on, no Lance Armstrong and of Gareth Southgate or Christian Vieri. Did Southgate make it into the draft? Anyone? Did he make it into anyone's squad?
Well, rumours he's starting, isn't there? For all
I saw
is
that.
there rumours he's starting? Is there? Yeah. All right, we'll have to see if he's been juiced. And essentially, teams can submit any form of tactic file they like, with no restriction on team instructions, formations, and style, other than there is no wib wob, and there never ever will be, because it's an absolute bastard. So in terms of in-game management, probably the most unique feature is that there'll be automatic extra time golden goal if there's a draw after 90 minutes, which could be absolute chaos. As a result, there's 5 subs available on the match day squad, and the main sub tactics and formation checkpoints of 45 and 60, which have become a kind of a mainstay of all competitive CMO 1 or 2 formats now. I think Swemp really kind of brought that in. Super League then followed, and Small Horse. And then if 90 minutes, you'll have a sub and a tactics formation change opportunity at extra time. Red cards will allow for a change of shape and subs to be made, including for the opposition, as is kind of the precedent now within kind of competitive CMO 1 or 2. Injuries will follow the same, but the opposition manager won't have time to respond. But what we have done, Dan, is kind of try to introduce something a little bit different, in that once per game, each manager will be able to change the team instructions along with the other normal subs, but that isn't compulsory. What's kind of thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I wonder how many people, 1-0 down, going direct, long ball, might be, interesting stuff.
And I think, Dims, as well, that there is that kind of like that dominance of attacking short, hard, yes. Or, the majority of us set up an initial tactic in the same way. So interesting to see if that really has any impact at all.
Yeah, it could potentially be a game changer, couldn't it? There's no reason to kind of stick with the status quo if you're getting well and truly beat. Even if you're just getting outplayed and you're losing by 1 goal, or you're drawing. The chance to change up adds that extra dimension. Like I said, it's not going to take heaps of time away from the stream either. We're going to make sure that people keep it snappy. And to be honest, it might not even be used, but it's just an extra little thing we thought we'd add in.
Yeah, and almost as if he could kind of feel his kind of ears burning. Rob Sloth joins us in the chat, the manager of Short Pump Sloths. And I was just about to say that this kind of team instructions thing, I think, makes me think of Rob when we introduced this, because he's a classic 3 up top if he's behind at any point in a game. But I think almost the fallacy of ever going 3 up top in play was that your team instructions would never quite follow it, Rob. So you might have already set up attacking, short passing, then you go 3 up top. You almost want to kind of go direct long ball. This then gives you the opportunity to mate. Cheers for dropping in, and I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think of the All-Star so far, mate?
I'm excited. First of all, can you hear me? That's be a great start.
Yeah, we can, mate. Yeah, you've got a headset there, looking a little bit pro.
But it's been a difficult week. Got a new computer. Don't know what I'm doing with it. But I'm excited. I'm happy to back in the warm embrace of the Super League, and I'm looking forward to having 3 up top and smashing the shit out of everyone in true Spartak fashion.
One of those things is a truth, and one of those things will be a lie. But you'll have to kind of stay tuned in to find out which one. So we'll just give a kind of a quick look at the kind of conference divisions, really. So we'll start with the Central Conference. Dimble, we've got yourself in there, mate. We've got Scott Bostock, Scott Bostock's El Loco Fire. Scotty Sadler coming back to competitive CMO 1 or 2 after a while away. The King of Co-Coms, Jamie Hopkins, and his Alcatraz FC side, and then my own New York Dandy side. What do you make of your own Central Conference division there, Dimble?
Yeah, it's some good managers to go up against. Obviously, some strong squads. I think there's a chance to do well in that one, but you never know what you're going to get with some of these people. Like Hopkins, if he's as trash as he has been in times, then great. But he's got a hell of a team, and he's obviously not too bad at the game when he wants to be. And Scott's a bit of an unknown quantity at this point. He's been away for a while now. He's got a bit of a weird bit of a squad, in my opinion, but got some real firepower as well.
Yeah, I think Scott's kind of the one that is of massive interest. I can more or less predict how you're going to set up. Know Hopkins pretty well from being in the Dragons for a long time. Scott has kind of been away for 4 seasons now, and his Bostock side were kind of famed for being attacking and kind of playing a bit ballsy. So that really is interesting. Over to the Eastern Conference, where we have Tato St. Domingo's Bisons, we have Rox's Memphis Reigns, we have Jens's Valhallan Vikings, and we have Mike's Drivetrain side. Dan, I'm going to come to you here, mate. What do you make of that Eastern Conference? A little bit of a group of death, given Rox's knowledge of database. Jens is top of the Super League. Tato is Mr. Consistent. And Mike's back 4, 5, 6 look absolutely unstoppable. And Barthez, Nesta, kind of shoring that up. What's your thoughts there, Dan?
Yeah, it's another strong group, isn't it? Like you say, Tato would be expecting to do well. Jens expecting to do well. Then you've got like Rox, who definitely knows what he's doing. And finally, that defence, I think everybody that's done any testing on it has discovered you just don't score against them. So, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, definitely interesting group.
Rob, your home in this build, in this beast, is the Western Conference. You're in there with the Steam Pigs, your own team, the Short Pump Sloths, Dan's Blackwater Gators, and the Des Moines Demons of Champ Megahorse. What do you make of what you've seen of those teams so far and your chances in that Western Conference, Rob?
To be honest, I only got the database working about 12 minutes ago. So, true to form, I don't really care about anyone else.
How's Georgie Costa looking? He's looking good.
Georgie, you see, the thing is, you give me grief about Georgie Costa. He's absolutely sensational. Look at him. Look at those stats. Look at the numbers. That guy. Look.
He does look pretty good, to be fair, Rob. But he's a danger man. Isn't he?
When I'm dead in like about 10 years' time, and the Super League is still going, he will be my my magnum opus. That's what I'll be remembered by. Have a look at Bai Chang Bhutia for me. Who's going to start every game?
Who?
Yeah, there you are. Look at that guy. What a man.
I mean,
hey, you don't get 26 goals for India by being shit, do you?
Rob, all I'll say is, mate, it's a 32 game season, not a 26 game season. So if Super League season's whatever long for you, mate, this could be especially long.
It could be. Yeah.
Going to play him.
He's a native Indian now. Rob, God don't wash over this side of the Atlantic.
Yeah. I was going to say about that. That's the wild one, isn't it? The West, that anything could happen in there.
Yeah,
that's the one. That's
all better off then there, isn't it? It's like, all better off.
It's 2 ways with myself. I'll either be absolutely sensational or not very good. And I think we all know which way it's going to be.
There's still that hope, though. The ball's not been kicked yet. There's still the hope.
It's the hope that kills you. It's the hope that kills you, mate.
So what we've done is we've just set up some really basic 2-7-1 formations for each of the squads, and I'm just going to come to you all very, very quickly, one at a time. If you can start down with Domingo's Bisons, what's standing out there? Who's the danger man, and where's the weakness in this 11?
It's Giggs, isn't it? Left wing. That's who he went for. First pick straight up. So yeah. Weakness wise, they're pretty strong all over, really. He'll hope to get something out of Jax, won't he? But it could be a bit early for him.
Yeah. Interestingly, I didn't realise he's went with Casillas. He was probably going to be his number 1 pick, and hasn't been particularly great this iteration in the Super League so far. Dimble, you're going to preview one of your good mates, the Steam Pigs. Obviously, we don't know if this is how they're going to line up, but just at first glance on this kind of 2-2-4-1-1, who's the danger man and where's the weakness?
It looks a really, really solid team. He's obviously got those two centre backs, which I think is probably going to be the way to go. And if I could redraft again, I would think about that a bit more. But that back two is unreal. And then he's got enough quality sprinkled around. And if he gets good Mpenza, then he'd be great.
Yeah, an early firing Mpenza with wingers, and one of which is Beckham supplying him. That could be really dangerous. Rob, I'm going to come to you, mate. If we can have a look at the return in Scotty Sadler and his El Loco Fireside, just set up in a flat 2-7-1. Who's the danger man and where's the weakness?
I think we all know the danger man, don't we? We all know he's there. Depends which one we get, doesn't it? I don't. He shouldn't be, but he's going to score about 37 goals, isn't he? He's got Nicky Ronaldo in there. Do you know what? He doesn't look as strong as the others, but it's probably one of those that's stronger than some of their parts, aren't they? A bit like
yeah.
I think but a Sloth's of old. It'd be
What I would say about this is
Contra.
It's strong, but there's not as much. Scott hasn't went with as much of what I would probably call Super League precedent. You can kind of tell he's been away. These aren't players that have particularly torn up trees over the last kind of 4 seasons or so, and he might be absolutely right in that to do so. But yeah, and he's never had Chicago in Super League, I don't think. So that'll be interesting. Dan, I'm going to come back to you. The short pump Sloths. This is their kind of supercomputer predicted setup. Where's the danger man and who is the weakness, or where is the weakness?
He's strong again, and he's a strong keeper. Set up to go 3 up front, and he so second is a goal behind or even 0-0. He's going straight to 3 up top. Yeah,
straight up there.
Yeah, Z Roberto, obviously. I think that was everybody's first pick if they could have got him. So, yeah.
Something like that when he's 2-0 behind first game of the season, I think.
That'll be it. Yeah,
that'll be it. Yeah. Dimble, come over to you, to a guy that needs no introduction in terms of his knowledge of the database and his home saves. Struggling a little bit in Super League this season, in his debut season. Where is the strength and the areas of weakness in this Reigns squad?
They have got some Spanish-speaking people, which could help him. I'd be scared if I was in this group because I think he could be really good. Crespo Vieri, we've seen what Vieri's been doing recently, and then he's got fucking a load of bastards and a bit of flair on the width and in the AMC. So I like it. It's a good setup. I'm a bit jealous of that team actually. I quite like it a lot.
Yeah. And when I was having a little look, this kind of 5, they wouldn't necessarily be in your first 3 picks of players in those positions, but they're all like aggressive, tackling, marking, really, really hidden 4th column stats look great on all of those 5. A team of bastards with goals up top. Yeah. That's how I would describe this.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a lot of reliable players. Obviously, he plays with those players a lot as well, so he knows them well. They are reliable, and I don't think they're going to let him down.
Yeah. Rob, over to you for a little bit of a preview of the drivetrain, Mike Savage's side. Supercomputer predicts this is how he's going to go. What's your thoughts, mate?
I like Nesta. I like Bowyer. Not sure you'll play him there though. Scholes, but yeah, Scally as well. Oh, Rivaldo. He's got there's some strength there, isn't there? Quite a well balanced squad as well. It should be okay, but it's until the games kick off, we don't know, do we?
Any comments on Jeff Whitley, Dan?
No. Yeah. I'll be surprised if he plays, but then I won't be because you know what he's like. So yeah.
Dims, any comments on Jeff Whitley?
It's just great to have him here. Thanks for coming, Jeff.
Dan, I'm going to jump back to you, mate, for the Pelham Pumas, which is Dimble's side, set up on a flat 2-7-1. Ominous looking?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cole, Ronaldinho, Agahauer, Montella. Yeah. It's going to be good. Decent wing backs. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if we see one of these strikers cashed in on. I think he's maybe 1-2 heavy on the old strikers front, unless he's going 2 up top. But yeah, anybody, he was always going to be, first pick in the first 5 picks, wasn't he? What a player and what a guy. Dan, is going to be previewed by Dimble. You're going to return the favour there, Dims. So this is the Blackwater Gators. Again, another really strong side.
Yeah, and this is the beauty of the draft as we did it. Dan's got loads of players he likes, and he's got some very, very good players as well. And I know he took a bit of stick for his transfers when he first joined the Super League. Obviously, proved us all wrong with that one. And with free reign and kind of some of the quality he's got, very, very scared of what Dan can do with his own team of this strength.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's that Totti Veron combination and quality wing backs, but underrated wing backs. They weren't really going to be, what people won't be aware of is in the draft, there was one round of the draft where all of the DMLs went at once. People had kind of waited about 4 rounds, I think, for the DMLs to be picked. And then 2 people picked, and then all of the DMLs went. And Dan kind of jumped probably a little bit earlier, maybe, on Carlos because of that, Dan. I don't know if that was the case.
Yeah, I wanted to see Roberto, but obviously he went first to Rob. So Carlos was my second pick. So, yeah. And then, like you say, I was worried that somebody was going to take him. Then I'd really stuck. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think you were literally the pick before me, and he was going to go if it got to me. So it was a good move. Over to the currently top of the Super League table, Vikings. This is their sister club. Rob Sloth, any thoughts on this? Where's the strength and where's the weakness?
I think when Jens picked this side, he chose violence, didn't he? He's got Saeed, Emerson, Anelka, Desai. Desai's mustard anything as well on this. Yeah,
season 1 he's up there, isn't he?
Yeah. Again, a decent DML. Probably only weakness. I don't want to. You don't want to say like Zanetti's a weakness, but out of everything in that squad, it's probably
Your mentor, Rob.
Yeah, that's a bad shout, Rob. I thought you were going to say for love no money there. I thought you were going to say the AM line. Imar's really hit or miss in AMC. Is he? Let's see what he's. Is it?
Yeah, but I love Mackay though. So.
Where's strength 4 in AMC with those dominant DMCs?
Yeah. I imagine we'll put him next to Emerson with a little diag as his Super League formation has been recently.
Yeah, I think something like that is probably more reasonable.
Zanetti has Salihamidzic pajamas.
Probably gifted to him by Salihamidzic, mate. I don't think he's going to buy them at the choice. Dimble, I'm going to come to you for Hopkins. The enigma that is Jamie Hopkins, one of the best guys in the entire existence of the community, but this is probably how he's going to go. Although he does love Davids in MC, given how good he was for Dragons, so potentially the Northern Burn Trident. What's your thoughts, Dims?
Yeah, it's got some great players. I'm not sure how he's going to line up as well. It's one of them that you won't be able to kind of predict. Neved MC has not done it before, but he's got some good backups. He's got a few little myths kicking around in there. Seydorf, Nedved, Raul's not really done it consistently, so it could go wrong for him. But I think they're actually going to be pretty damn strong, to be honest. And as long as his keeper and Lucio turn up, I think that'll be my worry. Lucio has always been a bit iffy for me, and Vito Bayer's also not elite level, but he's obviously done a decent job before.
Yeah, feels a little bit Gazelles under you, that Dan.
Yeah, I quite like that. Swap Davids and Seedorf over a couple of arrows. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. I'm not sure on Raul, but other than that, they're strong. Yeah.
And Dan, if we can come to you for the Des Moines Demons, which is obviously Mega Horses kind of build. Now, I would, as you'd expect with any squad Mega Horse builds, this is the least confident I am of anyone's lineup and the one that I struggled with the most. I cannot believe that his only kind of big name striker going into this is Alan Shearer.
Yeah, when he was doing his picks, it was. But you just know he's going to be good. That's the problem. You know he's going to be good. But then look at the wing backs. 2 of the best. Vieira in the middle. He's got Thuram. Yeah, there's a decent side there, definitely.
Yeah, and it'll be something mad like this.
Backwards arrow.
Something like that. You know what I mean? It'll be something a little bit crazy.
I think we'll see Vieira and an MC is what I think we'll see. And I think we'll see, is it Yahya? I think he's going to start, which is mad, but
looks like an intrinsic bastard.
He said he's said a few times that he can't get anything out of big name strikers, so he's basically not going to bother. So we'll see how that goes. I think yeah, it'll be decent.
And then Rob, if you can see us home with a little bit of a preview, where's the strength and where's the weakness of the New York Dandies?
Well, I think that's, I hate to say it, mate, I think that's the worst side out of the lot, to be honest. That's absolutely abysmal. What are we? I know you got your favourite Constantino in there. You got a 14-year-old Ryan, Robin. Sorry, you got a 4-year-old Ryan. Where'd that come from? It's a Freudian. That was
Brilliant. And there is no greater sign that it's going to be a good year for the Dandies than Rob Sloth stating that it isn't. So yeah. So game week 1 kicks off on Wednesday night. Myself and Dan will be doing a bit of streaming and getting us underway. We're probably going to go 1 stream a week on a Wednesday night for the foreseeable future, just until we kind of get this show on the road. We've got Hopkins as Alcatraz against Steve Wright Steam Pigs. Duggan's Dandies against the Short Pump Sloths after Robert has brilliantly just set himself up there for a first week pumping. We've got Mike Savage's Drivetrain against Pelham Pumas, Dimbles. We've got Rox's Memphis Reigns against Horses, Des Moines Demons. We've got the St. Domingo Bisons led by Tato against the Blackwater Gators led by Dan. And then finally, the Vikings against the El Loco Fire. What a battle that is. Lads, cheers for hopping on. Great little preview of that. And we shall see you all on Wednesday. Catch you then.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Cheers, mate.